Hey guys, it's Alex from Dental Growth, and in this video we're going to go over the main metrics that you want to prioritize and focus on and optimize in your dental lead gen campaign. Now again, this can work if you're in dental lead gen, if you're running ads for dental practice, or in another industry. You want to focus on these metrics, okay? Especially for local businesses, local business advertising, etc. Okay, these are the main ones I look out for, and the ones that are starred are pretty much the two that at a glance you should make sure are optimized, and then from there the others kind of waterfall out from there. And as you can see, they're already ordered with the arrows here, letting you know that one informs the next, informs the next, informs the next. And in this video, I'm going to go over exactly the metrics and the benchmarks that I look for in these metrics to make sure that we have a successful campaign and that each step is dialed in properly. Okay, so without further ado, let's go to the top one, which is CPM. Okay, and CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions on Facebook, and we want to make sure that that CPM isn't too expensive. Now, and sometimes when you run an ad, Facebook might think for whatever reason your page or your ad itself has like a low quality score, and so it might give you guys just kind of a bad draw and a bad campaign. And you can tell sometimes when your CPM just shoots up. Something that would be super high would be like a $70 CPM or $100 CPM, because it's costing you $70 to $100 to reach 1,000 people. And in ads, it's a game of small percentages, and so that can definitely add up. You're going to need to reach 1,000 people cheaper than that. Okay, and the ideal CPM that we kind of want to stay around is $20 to $40 or less, depending on your area. It can be higher depending on your area, but $20 to $40 is kind of right now standard and a healthy range for Facebook. So that's a quick one. Once we have that checked off, Facebook isn't giving us a bad draw or anything like that, and our CPM is around $20 to $40, we're good to go to the next one, which is CPLC, or cost per link click, right? So how many people or how much is it costing to get a link click or someone clicking from our ad into our in-app form or into our landing page, right? And so for us, we want that number to be around, again, $2 to $4, okay? So we have kind of a pattern here of 2 to 4. And so we're finding that it's costing about $2 to $4 for a healthy, successful campaign for someone to click into our in-app form. Now, obviously there's going to be a drop off here. We're going to get several people clicking to our in-app form, and only one of them is going to completely follow through and submit it. That kind of depends on how much qualification you have going on in your in-app form. How many questions do you have for one? How committing are some of the questions? Are the questions something like, are you interested in coming in for an appointment? And so from there, your cost per lead as a result can change based off of your actual lead form and your experience that you provide the lead after they click your ad. And so our CPL, or cost per lead, we find a healthy range for that is about $7 to $20, okay? And that's for more of your high volume campaigns where you're getting a lot of leads, because oftentimes leads can definitely be even much more expensive, up to $100, okay? And $100, it's expensive, but it works if your qualification is very stringent and if the leads that are coming in are actually becoming new patients, right? Because a lot of times we've found that when you add a lot more qualification, a lot more hoops for a lot of leads, we still noticed we were getting the same leads that we were at $7 to $20, but now we're getting much less. Likely because we're making even good leads do more than they would want to. And that's why a lot of times we actually opt for a higher volume campaign, because we want to make sure we're getting everyone, even the good leads that simply just don't want to have to answer 20 questions, okay? Or jump onto a landing page form and then answer 20 questions there. We can get those same qualifications on the phone as opposed to on a form. No one, not even myself, I don't want to fill out 20 questions on a landing page and then jump to here and jump to there. And so that's why a lot of times we opt for the higher volume, the lower cost leads. Yes, you will have to screen them on the phone for sure, okay? To make sure that the qualification questions that you might have asked in a longer lead form are still asked on the lead call. And so that's why we like to stay in a $7 to $20 range, whereas your campaign might actually be doing fine at $100 because it's a little bit more qualifying. Maybe you're advertising for a specific higher ticket treatment, and that's fine. The numbers can still work out at that range. But this is something that works for us. And ultimately, you have to make a decision based off of your bottom of the funnel metric, ROI, at the end of the day. Are you still getting new patient starts for a cost that works for you? That being said, this funnels into our next metric that we track heavily, which is STL, or speed to lead. And we want speed to lead to be 1 to 3 minutes. 1 to 3 minutes, okay? Because when a lead comes in, we get a notification that a lead has just come in, and we call the lead right away. And it's statistically proven that you're 4 times less likely to get a hold of someone, right then, and even long term down the road, and you'll just have a lower lead conversion rate if you call after that 3-minute mark, okay? And so it's very important that you get speed to lead. And honestly, I have these 2 starred because they're the most important ones that I track at a glance. Okay? Cost per lead is important because if I notice even day to day or week to week, my cost per lead has jumped from say $13 to $26, now I'm getting 50% less opportunities than I was before. And if I notice that our appointment setter's speed to lead is, maybe they're missing it and maybe it's an hour, 2 hours, etc., that's a big problem because our conversion rate is going to go down significantly. As I said, 4 times less likely, okay? So those are the 2 main ones that we want to make sure our setter is on top of the leads, and we want to make sure our leads are coming in for our setter, and that's it, okay? After that, we have our waterfall metrics, which are book rate, show rate, and start rate. For book rate, we want to make sure that we're booking about 1 out of every 4 or even 1 out of every 3 leads, okay? And so actually our range is 1 out of every 5 to 1 out of every 3, which is 20 to 33%. 20 to 33% of all leads, okay? So that means that our conversations have to be on point. Our lead calls have to be on point, okay? To get this number, 20 to 33% of leads, okay, that we're booking. That's, again, goes into the call itself, and that actually is in one of our other videos on the channel. And next, we have show rate. We want show rate to be 50% at least, because below that, your office at that point is getting strained a little bit because you're putting appointments on so consistently that aren't showing up that it's wasting your doctor's time, your office's time, and your time, and it just, whatever you're doing as far as the booking process, you're not getting people on the schedule that want to show up. So you need to reevaluate your lead call. Make sure desire is in place. From one of our other videos, the lead call video, you want to make sure that the lead actually has desire, that we've implemented the actual sales process and the system to make them want to come to the appointment. And then we've also put little things in place such as financial incentives, reminder texts, reminder calls, etc., because show rate shouldn't be any less than 50% as it is. It can get as high as 80%, 80 to 90% off cold leads, new patient appointments, okay? And so 50 to 80% is our goal for show rate. Next, we have start rate, okay? Once they're in the office, in the chair, how many people, how many of those leads in the chair actually start treatment and pay the office to work with them, okay? And we want that start rate to be at least 50%. And this can be tough. Sometimes it can be less, and if it still works out for you, if that number is less, that's great. But ideally, we would want at least 50% to move forward in some capacity with the office, because again, that would be wasting the office's time if they're doing tons and tons of consultations and it just fizzles out, right? And we want to make sure we're optimizing lead quality, the lead call, again, making sure the desire is there, and case acceptance principles, okay? We want to make sure we're presenting in a good fashion in a way that the lead is understanding the treatment options. We're not confusing them. We're using things like in-person models, smile transformations. More videos on that will probably be on the channel in the very near future. Case acceptance is very important because, again, if case acceptance is very poor, then it can kind of break a campaign. So we want to make sure that we're presenting treatment to leads in a good fashion, and we're getting some kind of next steps booked for them at least, okay? So go ahead and schedule their next appointment. Don't just hand them, their treatment plan and say, call us if you feel like it, because I will say, guys, putting the ball in the lead's court a lot of times will not end up well for you. So I would recommend being very on top of things and treating it, as a team process. Reach back out to them, help them schedule their next appointment, things like that to optimize the start rate. And guys, those are our metrics that, again, can be applied to any industry, any lead gen campaign where you're booking an appointment and someone is coming to a physical location, okay? So we want to track all of these, and we track actually a lot more as well, but these are the main ones. And if I would focus on 2 of them, guys, at a glance, and honestly, if you focus on these 2, you can get 80% of the way there, and that's cost per lead and speed to lead, okay? So we want to make sure we're getting a consistent flow of leads and we're reaching out to those leads fast, okay? And then we're making sure our call is dialed in, but if you can get those 2 things, you're in a good place, guys. So that being said, if you want to reach out to me personally, you can find my information in the links on our channel, Dental Growth. We talk all about growing dental practices, lead generation, and more. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next video.